I made a custom vinyl record box set, and it is actually now one of the nicest box sets I own. Probably only trumped by the Ozzy Osbourne box set because of how grand and gigantic it is. I am really elated with how this turned out when it comes to a visual and sonic perspective, and whether or not you're a fan of the band I'm about to talk about, I implore you to watch this video because I think that you could take away some insights that might lead you to potentially make your own box set of this ilk. And I just think it's a really cool concept. I'm so excited with how it came out. So I'll tell you the story of how it came to be. The year that Vampire Weekend Father of the Bride came out, they played a massive album release show at Webster Hall in New York City. 5 hours, 3 sets. I was nowhere near New York City at the time. Unfortunately, I missed it. They played basically every song they've ever done, including B-sides and covers. It was legendary. I had a friend there. He said it was one of the best days of his life. I was devastated to miss it. Vampire Weekend is one of my favorite bands, but I am lucky enough that there was a soundboard recording that they had played on Sirius XM, I think the weekend after the show. Someone ripped it and had it online, and it was available to download. So I listened to the show. Oh, it's just so good. Slightly different variations on some of the songs they played. They had all the girls from Haim there to do various parts. They did a ton of great covers, including Bob Dylan's Joker Man and The Boys Are Back in Town, and their famous Fleetwood Mac Everywhere cover. I was like, man, it would be so cool if they released this as a vinyl box set. And knowing Vampire Weekend, I didn't think they would. They've only released studio albums. They've never done any live records or even an EP that's come out on a physical medium like vinyl. So I said to myself, I wish I could make my own box set. And that's when it hit me. Why don't I? What's stopping me? If you guys didn't see the video I did about tangible formats, definitely click above and watch it. But you should definitely check them out. They are a high-quality lathe cut company that does lathe cut vinyl records, which are basically one-offs cut by hand. A lot of lathes can sound pretty terrible. Theirs sound incredible. Silent noise floor, really dynamic for what they are. They sound as good as a good sounding record in my collection. Obviously nowhere near like a Mo-Fi or Analog Productions record, but for a silent record mastered for vinyl, it sounds really good. I've done a few records with them in the past, but nothing of this scale. So I talked to them and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. Can you do it? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So I gave them the massive recording, and what they gave me were 7 jackets and 7 records. Each jacket with art I made and each record with labels I made. So here they are. This is all 7 discs of the Vampire Weekend live at Webster Hall, cut by tangible formats. Really nice jacket. Each one says disc 1 on the side, whatever it may be. I had them on black vinyl, and the labels I made them, they're basically just the logos that they're using for some of the Father of the Bride stuff with the letter corresponding. I could have put the track titles in each one, but I feel like this is kind of like an all or nothing thing where I'm going to listen to it all at once or not at all. I had these and I started listening and they sounded fantastic. I mean, again, this is a live soundboard recording, so it's not going to be as dynamic as a live album that was created for a vinyl purpose, but this is mastered for vinyl on the lathe. So it sounds great on my setup. I think it's a little quieter than some records, so I had to turn up the volume a little bit, but that's not a big issue. It sounds great when the volume's turned up. Punchy. It almost feels like if you close your eyes, you're there. So I have this, and I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? This is just a bunch of sleeves. I need a box. So I spent forever trying to source the perfect box for these records. And you know what? It is hard to find a vinyl box set that actually fits jackets like this that are their own jackets. If I just had the discs themselves, I could probably find a box, but I wanted to keep the jackets to keep, you know, the aesthetic of each release, and I couldn't find anything. I kept buying these old boxes at thrift stores that I thought would be potentially things that would work, and I'd go bring it home and it wouldn't fit. The dimensions would be just off enough that the discs wouldn't fit inside. I was like, what am I gonna do? So I turned to Etsy, and I found a company that makes custom engraved wooden boxes. I measured the dimensions of these records and I made sure to ask, can you make a box with these dimensions internally? And they said, sure, no problem. The box itself ended up being about $60 with engraving, and it was so worth it. This is my box set that I made. The front of this is an invitation. I think this was actually the invitation that was given to people when they were going to the show. This is what I saw regarding the bootleg of the live stream that they had available for download. But it says, Vampire Bootleg cordially invites you to a very special all-day event to celebrate the new album, Father of the Bride, with the Father of the Bride globe right here. So, first of all, the box is extremely soft touch. you know, not rough at all. They did such an amazing job with the way it feels. Feels very sturdy. And then I asked for a second engraving on the side. So it has the band name right here. So if I have it sitting up next to all my other box sets, you can see that it's clearly the Vampire Weekend box set. By the way, this is not sponsored. The Etsy people paid me nothing for this. This is just something I want to share with you guys because you could potentially take other live shows or, you know, things that you were looking to make vinyl versions of for personal copies and do something similar, because this is such a cool collectible, like, conversation piece. It opens up like this, and the discs fit in perfectly. So you just slide it in like this. It fits in perfectly, and all the discs fit in with just enough space on top to close it. So you close it in, boom. I have a custom-made wood box set for one of the greatest live shows of all time that I couldn't go to. So this was a really cool experience, from Tangible Formats killing it on the lathe cut front to the Etsy group making the most incredible physical box for it. I love this, and I'm going to link to both in the description if you would like to go talk to TF about making a record for yourself. I highly recommend doing so. They are the best lathe cut company I've ever worked with. And if you want to make a box for your records, or this could even be cool to make a box for a discography of a band you love. If you have like 8 records, you can do any custom dimension up and down, so you can make it as big or small as you want. Just measure it. You know, throw all of your Radiohead albums into a box that you make with whatever custom engraving you want. I think it's well worth it. It's a really cool way to display your records and have a cool collectible. So I made a custom vinyl record box set. It came out amazingly. Definitely recommend checking it out. So let me know what you guys think about this, and leave a comment with what you would do as your dream vinyl record box set that you would make yourself. So I'd love to hear what you guys have in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you will check these out. And I'm going to go and listen to some more Vampire Weekend. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.